Never underestimate what it's going to take to make a sale. You never assume people are just going to want your stuff and go into the market like that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Course Creation Summit. My name is Iman, the founder of Success Road Academy and the host of Course Creation Summit. And I am super excited for our next guest. So, John, I'm super excited for having you here, man. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you got here.
I've been in business my whole life. I've never actually worked for anybody ever. So all of a sudden, this thing called the internet showed up. So I jumped all in. I started providing commercial services to them, building websites. And, you know, the journey along the way has taught me one thing and one thing only. If you can't convert, you don't have a business. And conversion basically means you're taking somebody from not knowing you and turning them into a customer. There's a lot of conversions, and conversion really just means you're getting somebody to take an action. So that's kind of how I got here. I've learned a lot along the way. Back in my photography days, I was doing a lot of ad agency work. Ad agencies were hiring me. So I got to sit in the boardroom of these high-end ad agencies and actually watch how they created their ad campaigns. And I didn't really know what I was learning at the time until much later. But now I can look back on it and it's just so clear. They followed a protocol and they followed it every time. With every customer, it didn't matter what the product was. It didn't matter what the market was. And they've been doing this successfully for over 100 years. Everyone I've ever seen that use this, it works for them. And everyone I've seen that doesn't do this, doesn't do so well, whether they know it or not. What I'm going to share with you is a lot of logic, a lot of common sense, but it's incredibly hard to implement.
Absolutely. And it's many times you talk about something, it sounds simple, but when it comes to implementation of it, all the details of implementation become very important. And I always tell people the difference between a YouTube video and a course and a mastermind is the details of implementation and also the accountability and support that comes with a course or comes with a mastermind comparing to the information that gets shared on YouTube. But then when it comes to implement, that's why courses need to exist. And that's why masterminds and higher level done with you services need to exist because first of all, not everybody wants to implement everything themselves. That's one thing. And many people who want to implement something themselves, they want to have somebody beside them to help them to do it as well.
Oh, yeah. You definitely need support in this game. There's too much to learn. There's too much of a learning curve. And that's why you hire professionals to advance you through the learning curve, because none of us have time to spend 10 years to figure this out and get this implemented.
Yeah. Also, the clients that want to work with you are the same way. So it's not just for business. Anybody who wants to do anything, whether it's getting ready for a trip or planning or whatever it is, or lose weight or anything else, there are three levels. Some people get the information and implement it themselves. Some people want to do it with somebody else. And some people want somebody else to do it entirely for them. And that's why all three levels already exist. Okay. What are ad agency level sales conversions?
Well, when I say ad agency level, when a big business brings out a new product, they don't fumble around and try and figure it out themselves. What they do is they hire an ad agency, and the ad agency creates a marketing campaign for that product. They hit it out of the park every time they do that. And it's because of this protocol that it happens that way. It's like they follow the same thing that works. And it's the same thing with your business. When you come out with a new product or you go to promote an existing product, you need to create a sales campaign, a marketing campaign, a funnel, whatever you want to call it. It's all kind of the same thing. It's got a lot of different names, but you're introducing your product, you're teaching them why they want it, and then you're making an offer. The first piece on the front end, they grab attention. And if you don't grab attention, you don't advance to the next move. So if you can't do that, you're kind of dead in the water. If you can do that, now you've got somebody looking your way. Now is your chance to perform. This is your presentation. You have to create demand and desire. Otherwise, they're not going to want to buy it, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. And then once you've done that, you have an irresistible offer. They're at work creating these three pieces: the grab attention, create demand and desire, and the irresistible offer. Understanding all this stuff is really instrumental, because if you're going to hire someone out and you don't know how it's supposed to work, they probably don't either. You are the expert. What you know things that no one else knows about your stuff. And you have to be able to convey that to anyone that's going to help you. So you really need to understand these pieces at just an overview type level. You can hire someone to do the nuts and bolts. They know how to do that, but they don't know what you know about why someone's going to want your product. So you have to really know what to share with them.
Hey, this is Iman and you're listening to the Course Creation Show. If you want to create and launch your online course and you don't have a mentor who can take your hand and walk you every step of the way to successfully create and launch your course, please go to successroadacademy.com/apply and book a session with one of our mentors who can tell you all about how our mentorship programs can help you to create and launch your course. Now back to the show.
So pay attention to the recipe here, the ingredients. I'm going to tell you, there's 3 ingredients to grabbing attention. And the whole thing, what it's called in the ad agency world, this is called a big idea. And it's not just like, an idea that's large in size. Any ad campaign that doesn't have a big idea is going to pass like a ship in the night, meaning you're not going to see it. You don't see ships at night, right? They're black and they're in the darkness. You don't want your product to be in the dark at sea. You want to shine a light on it. That's the big idea. The first piece is a promise. You have to make a promise of the desired outcome that your person wants. Keep this in mind. They don't really want your product. They want what they want. They want the outcome. They want what it's going to do. So keep that in mind at all times. Never focus on what you think. Focus on what your prospect wants. Make them a promise that's meaningful to them. The second key component, because the first key component, when you make the promise, they're not going to believe it, like too good to be true, right? So you have to follow it up with what he calls a unique mechanism. This is the thing that you have that's actually going to deliver the result. This is more along the lines of your product. You connect your product to giving them what they want. And that's the unique mechanism. You need to name it. You need to name it something that when somebody Googles it, they're not going to come up with a bunch of other people's stuff, right? You want all roads to lead back to you. And the next piece, the last piece, is connecting the dots, connecting the known to the unknown. It's being able to say it in a unique, compelling way that they've never heard it before. So those are the components. And if you do that well, you're going to kill it. You're going to get people looking at your offer. Now you get to perform. If you don't get here, you never get to shine the spotlight on what you have and how good it is and why everybody's going to want it. Now that you've got their attention, we go on to the step 2. This is how do you create demand and desire? All eyes are on you. Now is your chance to perform. 2 things that have to happen in this process. You have to seduce their heart and you have to convince their head, because you've got 2 little guys standing on their shoulder. One of them saying, buy it. And the other one's saying, no, it's a fake. So it's like you got the good and the evil in one in each ear. And you have to navigate those waters before you make your offer, or you're not going to convert. It has to be a yes. You have to have the good guy beat the bad guy before you make the offer, or you're going to get a no. So seduce the heart. The way that you do that is with promises. The heart, think of the heart as like your subconscious, and the head is your conscious mind. It's driving the train. But really, the heart is what's at the center of it all. Your subconscious is like a little kid. It doesn't know right or wrong. It just wants what it wants, and it wants it now. Now, the head is like the adult. That's the parent. And the job of the head, the job of that conscious mind is to protect the heart. So it's going to step in the way and it's going to say no. That's where your objections are going to come from. So what you have to do to convince, you have to convince the head that this is true. The heart's not going to get broken. The heart's going to get what it desires. And when you do that, that's where the magic happens. That's where now the head will allow the heart to have what it wants, and the purchase will take place. The conversion will happen. And when you can do that, then you can move on to your offer. So you can have a mediocre offer. If the heart wants it and the head's going to let it have it, it's a done deal. There is a formula in here to eliminate any objection. Every objection is based on a belief. That belief doesn't matter what it is. It's true to that person. If they think they can't do it, if they think it's hard, whatever it is, it's a belief and it's going to create an objection. So the way to overcome this is a secret formula used by Benjamin Franklin almost 300 years ago. And it was his formula to overcome any objection. And it was claim, proof, benefit. He makes a claim contrary to the belief. Then he ties it to proof, third-party verification that it's true. Now it's a fact. It's not his opinion. Rarely will people argue a fact because they don't want to look foolish. So now it's a fact. Now it's in your favor. Now you reattach it to the benefit, what the heart wants, and the head will allow it. It works like magic. This one I really want to share with you because this is like probably the most powerful thing that I know how to do. And it's three-dimensionalizing your benefits. Your benefits are incredibly important because it's what it does. Focus on what your thing does, not what it is. That's features. Nobody cares. Nobody buys the thing for what it is. They buy the thing for what it does. So when you three-dimensionalize, remember claim, proof, benefit. When I hit the benefit, I'll three-dimensionalize it. And I say it three different ways, the same benefit, so they can hear it, see it, and feel it. Because we have three different modes inside us. We have the audio, the visual, and the kinesthetic. And some people are heavier on any one of those. So we say it in a way they can all benefit from it. They can all just get it in their skin and just really want it. When you say what your benefit is, that's one-dimensional. That's what most people do. They just say the benefit. Now, the person on the other end heard it. If they're audio, great. But if they're visual, they didn't see it. So you have to say it in a way that they can see it. I always use the word remember. When I use remember, I'm going to access their image bank in their head. And I'm going to get them to see something they've seen in the past that brings it up full color version right in front of them. And then after that, after they've heard it and they've seen it, now I want them to feel it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to transport them into a future time and I'm going to describe it. And I'm going to use the word imagine to do that. Imagine is a trigger word. It's going to let their imagination come forward. And then I'm going to take them on a guided tour of how they're going to feel the outcome. I'll give you an example so you can kind of see it all tied together. If we were selling a diet pill to a woman that's going to her high school reunion, she's put on a few pounds, doesn't really feel too good about herself, and she's looking to fix that. The first thing is you can take the pill and it'll lose weight without diet and exercise, right? Let's hear it. We don't really believe that, but we say it so they can just hear the benefit. And then we want her to see it. So we say, remember how good you looked when you saw yourself 20 pounds lighter in the mirror. She knows what that looks like. That's what she wants. Now she can see it because we've accessed something that's inside her mind. It's already there. We just have to bring it up. So now she can see it. Now we want her to feel it. So I say, imagine how you're going to feel when you walk in the room and all the heads turn and everyone's talking about how good you look. So I just took her through the entire thing. She heard it, saw it, and felt the outcome. That's three-dimensionalizing your benefits. If you figure out how to three-dimensionalize all of your benefits, your conversions are going to go through the roof. So Really good stuff. I mean, that's the key components. Grab attention on the front, create the demand and desire, and then make your irresistible offer.
So let me put you in the spotlight and ask you the one question that I always ask every one of my guests.
Okay.
What's your number one success tip in 15 seconds or less?
All right. Number one success tip. Oh, I would say never underestimate what it's going to take to make a sale. You never assume people are just going to want your stuff and go into the market like that. Don't underestimate that. That will be a terrible error on your part.
Perfect, John. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate you and look forward to seeing you in the next series of Course Creation Summit.